a lot of these companies are like, these games are expensive to make. We have to keep raising the price of these AAA games. And then 6 months later, when no one fucking buys it or it undershoots their projections, they're just like, oh, well, we have to cut back staff or we got to reevaluate how we do things. But none of those actually involve like spending less money to make a fucking game. It's like, why don't, like, not all games, like, yes, some of these AAA bangers are fucking crazy good. But, like, how many of these giant games have really been the best games of the year every single time? Like, last year was Baldur's Gate. Like, hold on, what was the budget for Elden Ring? So, yeah, Elden Ring was a $200 million game. And that's like the last like giant game I can think of that was like really, really, really good. Or yeah, Baldur's Gate was an early access game. But Baldur's Gate was like the best game of last year in a lot of people's opinions. My favorite game of last year was Armored Core 6. Like honestly, like Armored Core, if it didn't release the same year as like Baldur's Gate, I feel like that might have gotten some more love. Oh, Armored Core released like between Baldur's Gate and Starfield. Like it literally released a week before Starfield. I only got like a week to really commit to it at first until I got done with Starfield. Then I went back to it. But I fucking loved Armored Core. And it's a good game on official launch, but for those 3 years, it's been a flaming bag of shit. So I compare it to a game that has a shit launch fixed up 6 months after it became a good game. Dude, honestly, there's a really good fucking point there. It's like, why do we start with these giant, like, I feel like games are just like going in the wrong direction with how they develop them. And I don't feel like there would be anything wrong with these big studios changing the narrative and how they work on these games. And it might be for their own fucking benefit. Like, I might be wrong about this, but I mean, it might change some people's optics, but think of it this way, which I think Jez Corden's the one that originally proposed this. Like, Fortnite is still in beta, isn't it? So yeah, Fortnite was originally released in early access in 2017. So for over half a decade, it's been dominating the space though. Like since like 2018. Okay. So apparently the full release of Save the World was 2020. So technically full release is like 2020. So yeah, Fortnite was in fucking beta for 3 years. Everyone hated Baldur's Gate 3 at the start for 2 years. Then it got okay. Then they released and people said it's the best game of the entire gaming existence. Right. Yeah, Fortnite is a game where grown men like to fight about and talk shit about it. Well, it's millions of people play it every week. Dude, honestly, like Fortnite's another really good example though too of like just responsible management of like microtransactions and everything too. Like yes, some of the microtransactions have gotten bigger, but it's still only like 10, 15 or $20 for like their packs. Like I don't know, the cars I don't really get cuz some of those cars are like $30 or $50. That's a little bit weird. But if you spend $35 or if you spend $30 on like Fortnite skins, you get like the full skin, you get variants, you get weapons, you get picks, you get gliders, you get effects, you get a ton of shit. And it's also licensed half the time. Like the non-licensed shit is way cheaper. They also did overcharge for the cars. They refunded people after fan complaints. Yeah, dude, I didn't even look at the cars because those just seemed ridiculous. So yeah, maybe like Fortnite's getting to a point of market dominance where it's at a point where maybe they're getting a little bit too much hubris and trying to collect. But at the same time, I think for the most part, at least for the longest time we've seen, they've done a pretty good job being reasonable with it. Because in my opinion, the way it works out in my brain is that if you keep everything $5, $10, $15, $20 at the most for like the craziest shit, it makes a lot more sense for me to spend 10 or 20 bucks on a game every single week or every other week. I think at the peak of Fortnite, I was spending about 20 bucks a week on that game for different skins just to have, because I was playing that game for like 20 hours a week. So, and it was free. So yeah, it makes sense to give that back to the developers for providing me high value entertainment. You know what I mean? Whereas with other games, and like, because the cheaper it is, the more likely I'm to buy all of it. So it's like, why not like make like the individual pieces like $5 or $3 and the whole pack like $20? Like, it just makes sense because more people, it's more accessible to more people. Because if you sell one thing for $30, that's $30 you make. You spend, you sell 50 things for $3, you're going to make way more money. And there's way more people that can likely spend the $3 than the $50 or the $30. And that person that would spend the $30 will buy literally everything. Whereas someone who can only afford the $3 can only buy a couple things. So, I mean, it all fucking scales the same. But these companies are just like, we want to go after the whales. And that's the money people talking at that point. Which, yes, these games have to make a profit, but they need to be mindful, like, of... And it's also, yes, none of it, in a lot of cases, is even necessary. But it's like, if you want fans to spend money on the game on a consistent basis as a games as a service, just make the prices more accessible and the money will come. Because it's stupid to buy, like, let's all agree on something. Come here. Purchasing cosmetics in a video game is one of the stupidest investments you can ever make. It has no effect on your gameplay. It doesn't provide you anything but just the sheer joy of fighting other people as a stormtrooper. Like, it's literally the dumbest thing you can buy. It has no value, and odds are 2 weeks from the day you buy it, you're going to stop using it completely because they're going to sell you something else. It's the worst investment you can make. It is so dumb, but it does bring joy, and it also supports these developers. But if they decide that they can't support it anymore, or eventually the game goes away, or you like stop playing, like it has zero value at that point. It disappears. You might as well buy someone's fart. Like, if you buy an e-girl's fart in a jar, that is a 100 times more profitable investment or more valuable investment, because at least you get something tangible. You guys like the physical zoom? So it's like, yeah, it's stupid. But yeah, a lot of these companies are like, we need these gigantic budgets to make these gigantic AAA games, but they're not like reassessing the way that they're actually making their games, or being like, hey, these games are not performing well when we throw money at them. Why don't we make a lower budget game with people? You'd sell your farts for cheap. Sparkly, put more value into your farts. If you make them, people will buy them and then do strange things with them, most likely. But no. But yeah, I feel like the thing is, these companies are wanting to... I approve ego farts. This is GamePassDad, and I approve you selling your bathwater. Sell your farts. Sell your bathwater. Do whatever you need to become financially independent.